Hello everybody, my name is Lemonets, I also go by Lemon, and I'm here bringing you the IPA Week 1 match breakdown. I am going up against Coach LS0518 and the United Umbreons. So, if you remember from the draft analysis, I have a Sun team. My opponent today has a Sand team with Dragovich, Scizor, Galarian Corsola, Swampert, Rhyperior, Golurk, Tyranitar Mega, Excadrill, Togekiss, Gallade, and Lunatone. So, first thing I see here is the Mega Tyranitar. Because of Mega Tyranitar by itself, I cannot win the fight between the weathers. I can't. I just cannot. It's a match that I cannot win if I am trying to focus on Sun. So, going into that, I am deciding to not worry about it. Another thing I noticed on his team, he has 4 ground types, which means that pretty much nobody is ever going to want to Volt Switch on him, seeing that he has 4 ground types that are all immune to Volt Switch. But with that said, he doesn't want to bring many of them in a single fight, so he's just going to bring like 1 or 2 of them a fight maybe. He does have 2 Sand Rush Pokemon, being Dragovich and Excadrill, meaning that their speed is doubled in Sand, which are things that I really do need to look out for. But we're going to go into the team breakdown. Leading off, we have Prickle the Maractus with Cotton Guard, Leech Seed, Giga Drain, and Weather Wall with the Leftovers item. Leftovers gives me residual healing. Leech Seed takes HP from my enemy and applies it to me. Cotton Guard raises my physical defense by 3. That is there in case Dracovish is not banded, and is instead like Assault Vest with Ice Fang. And the Storm Drain ability allows me to be immune to Dracovish's signature move, Vicious Rend, which really does tear through my team, and it raises my special attack by 1. Giga Drain is a Grass-type move that is boosted by the Storm Drain boost, and he does not have very good options to Grass types. He has Togekiss and Scizor. Those are his only 2 really good options to Grass-type moves, and he does have 1, 2, 3, 4 Pokemon that are all weak to grass. 2 of them being 4 times, actually 5 Pokemon. Swampert, Rhyperior, Golurk, Tyranitar, and Lunatone are all weak to grass. And Weather Ball is there to hit Togekiss, because Weather Ball changes typing depending on what weather is up. And with Sandstorm, it becomes a 100 base power rock move, which hits Togekiss super effectively. Next up, we have Raja, the Therian Landorus, with the Jolly Nature almost max speed, max attack, some HP, knockoff U-turn Earthquake Defog, knockoffs to get rid of items like Choice Band Excadrill, Choice Scarf Dragovich, super effective damage on Golurk and Lunatone, and super effective damage on Galarian Corsola to get rid of its item. U-turn is for pivoting, which is going to be really important in this match. Earthquake is for stab, which his team doesn't really appreciate. He has 1 good switch-in, actually 2, being Togekiss and Lunatone. Lunatone being immune to ground-type moves with Levitate. And Defog, because there wasn't much of anything else I really needed. The only other thing I really thought of bringing was Toxic, but I figured another hazard removal option, because he does have so many ground types and hazard setters, is a good idea. Next up, we have Voltia, the Choice Band Zeraora. Choice Band locks me into the first move I use, but boosts my physical attack by 1.5. Drain Punch, knockoff Plasma Fist, Volt Switch. Drain Punch is to hit the Rhyperior, Tyranitar, Excadrill, all really hard, and to recover HP. Knockoff is for the same reasons as Landorus's knockoff. Plasma Fist is not a super spammable move in this game, but there wasn't anything else that would have been much better. So if I can get, but it does hit Togekiss really, really hard. And Volt Switch for pivoting. Comment the Hitmonchan with the Assault Vest. Assault Vest means that I can't use any moves that aren't attacks, but it increases my special defense. So It has the Iron Fist ability, boosting punching moves, Rapid Spin to remove hazards and boost my speed by 1, Mach Punch, Ice Punch, Fire Punch. Mach Punch is to hit a Mega Tyranitar with a 4 times effective Iron Fist and Stab boosted hit in case he is an offensive Dragon Dance set. Ice Punch is for Togekiss, Rhyperior, Golurk, and passive and neutral damage on Dracovish. Fire Punch is for Scissor and Excadrill. Charmy the Whimsicott with Flame Orb and the Prankster ability. Prankster means that status moves have priority, meaning that they go first. And I'm bringing Flame Orb so that I can pass that on to Excadrill, Gallade, Rhyperior, Golurk, Dracovish, Scizor. None of them appreciate having a Flame Orb with Switcheroo. Moonblast is just for stab fairy attack, U-turn for pivot, Tailwind to double my team's speed for, I think it's 5 turns. And Remus the Lycanroc Dusk. I kind of just threw this thing together last minute because I didn't see anything else that would have been like really important for me to bring. So I decided to go with a Focus Sash Endeavor set. Focus Sash is an item that if I am at full HP and an attack would normally one-shot me, it keeps me alive at 1 HP. And Endeavor is a move that reduces my enemy's HP down to my HP. So it would reduce it down to 1 HP. Excel Rock and Sucker Punch, both priority moves. And Stealth Rock just because they help me deal with Togekiss. They help me wear down stuff like Excadrill, maybe Tyranitar, but Stealth Rocks in this match aren't really good. So I am expecting Dracovish, Dracovish, Galarian Corsola, Tyranitar Mega, Excadrill, Togekiss, and Gallade. So if we go over to the replay, you'll see that I got everything right except for Swampert. I expected Gallade and he brought Swampert instead, which is problematic. Swampert is a much bigger problem than I thought it was initially. But leading off Whimsicott, just because passing the Flame Orb onto something like the Dracovish Excadrill or Swampert sounded really, really good to me. So he led Swampert, which led me to believe that it was a defensive set, probably with Stealth Rock, maybe Roar. So I immediately go for the Switcheroo and he goes to Togekiss, which is really good for me because that means that I trick the Flame Orb onto him and I take his leftovers. Leftovers gives me HP recovery after every turn, and Flame Orb being burned means that he takes damage after every turn. And he could have Heal Bell, but forcing him to go for Heal Bell is really good for this team. So I just U-turn because I did not want Whimsicott to stay in on an Air Slash or something. As he goes for Nasty Plot, which leads me to believe that it is an offensive set, which is very scary for my team. It really is, because Whimsicott can't deal with it. Hitmonchan takes a pretty good amount from it. Therian Landorus can't really do anything to it. My two only real options to it are Zeraora and Lycanroc. But I go Zeraora, he switches out, expecting me to go for either Plasma Fist or Volt Switch. He goes into Excadrill to take the Plasma Fists, and it shows that he is Air Balloon, meaning that he is immune to Ground-type moves until he is hit by an attack. So I went for Knockoff, expecting the switch. I was expecting him to go into Corsola, Swampert, or the Excadrill, and it does appear that I made the correct prediction. Now, at this point, Knockoff does kill again because of how much damage it does. Here, I know for a fact that it will kill as he switched out and it goes into Corsola. This is a really big turn because knocking off Corsola's Eviolite means that it loses a ton of its defense. Both of its defenses are now reduced by 1.5. Because normally with Eviolite, its defense would be boosted by 1.5. So now it's back to neutral, which is really big because on its own, it isn't great. It's a pretty hit or miss Pokemon. But at this point, I know that Knockoff kills again, so I just go for it. And he gets the Cursed Body, which is unfortunate, because that means that I can no longer go for knockoff if this Pokemon is on the field. And because I am locked into knockoff with the Choice Band, I have to switch. As he goes Dracovish, which was the best play, because Fish's Rend is very free against my team, especially since I had to switch. So I went into Maractus to take it with the Storm Drain, as he did go for the Fish's Rend. I get the special attack boost. I went for Cotton Guard in case it was the non-choice Dracovish with Ice Fang or Fire Fang. Then he goes for Ancient Power, which leads me to believe that because of the nasty plot, it leads me to believe that it is Serene Grace, and he is trying to go for the Omni Boost from the secondary effects of Ancient Power, which would be very bad for my team if it happens. And he did get a crit, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't really matter in the long end. I go for Leech Seed to give me more recovery and to wear this thing down faster with Burn and Leech Seed damage. So I switch out because I can't hit it without Sand being up with Weather Ball, because Weather Ball just doesn't do anything, because without a Weather up, it's 50 power instead of 100. So I went to Hitmonchan, my best special defensive Pokemon. As he goes for Air Slash, it does 50%. So after the Leech Seed damage, I know I can take another. So I stay in and went for the Ice Punch. And then he gets flinched, which is unfortunate, but it was very likely to happen, being that Air Slash normally has a 30% chance to flinch, and with Serene Grace, it doubles that. So now it has a 60% chance to flinch. So, knowing that, I save Comet just in case I need a sack for later. And I go into Zeraora because it puts a lot of pressure on his team. It puts so much pressure because this thing has a ridiculous amount of coverage. I could have brought Play Rough for Dracovish. I could have brought Grass Knot, which in hindsight I kind of wish I did. But he gets another crit with the Air Slash, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it also really doesn't matter right now. So I get more HP back with the Leech Seed. He lets that thing get really worn down. Just really, really worn down. I don't think that was the best play. He goes into Dracovish probably because he wants to Fish's Rend again, because either he can Fish's Rend or he can Ice Fang, predicting Maractus or Landorus. So I went for the knockoff to try and get rid of this thing's item, or the more likely situation, getting rid of something else's item, because the possibility of Togekiss staying in was very low. So I reveal that it's Choice Scarf, but it is no longer, so it will not outspeed anything on my team. So I just keep going for it and go for the kill, because knockoff is a 3-hit KO. He goes for Crunch, probably to try and get a defense drop, and that damage showed me that it was most likely Strong Jaw and not Sand Rush. So I went for the kill with knockoff. And he goes Tyranitar. So I have to switch out here because knockoff will not get rid of this Pokemon's item, because it is a Mega, and Mega Stones cannot be knocked off, and knockoff is just going to do nothing to this thing. So I switched out into Whimsicott, as he switches out into Swampert. I went for Tailwind to boost speed of Maractus. He went for Stealth Rock. I U-turned and go into the Maractus, as he Ice Beams, which was the best thing he could have done there. So now, being that I have double speed for the next 3 turns, I went for the best play for me to go for here is Giga Drain, because if he goes into Whimsicott, I can Weather Ball and get rid of it, or not Whimsicott. If he goes to Togekiss, I can Weather Ball and get rid of it right here. He goes Tyranitar, and I go for Giga Drain, but because Sand is up and it has 1.5, or it has boosted special defense in Sand, it does a lot less, which is alright though, because I really did expect that kind of thing to happen. I really did. So at this point, Maractus isn't the most helpful thing on my team. So he Mega Evolves. I go for Leech Seed just to get something off because Weather Ball wasn't going to do anything. Cotton Guard wasn't going to help me a whole lot. I didn't think it was going to live. And it wouldn't have lived too. And Leech Seed was the best option here because he does not have a grass type to be immune to it. So either way, I got HP recovery from something. So Prickle goes down, which is alright. So now I go Landorus to Intimidate and force him to switch. And because U-turn is still super effective. So he goes Swampert, which makes sense. So I went to Whimsicott to threaten the chance of me having Giga Drain. And he switches back out into Tyranitar, and I showed that I have Moonblast instead. Does decent damage, considering that it was Special Defense Sand boosted. I U-turn because I expected a switch or him to Dragon Dance. I went into Lycanroc because at this point the Endeavor Focus Sash set wasn't going to really do anything for me because the rest of his team is very low already. There wasn't much of a point in me doing it. So at this point I figured I would just go into my priority Pokemon because this thing likely has Sand Rush. Or, yeah, it has Sand Rush because it's not Mold Breaker, and I highly doubt that it's Sand Force. So I decided to go into my Pokemon with Sucker Punch to knock it out. And I do get the kill. He goes Swampert, so I hard switch out into Hitmonchan to sack it off, which is exactly what happens. Now I go Whimsicott, and I start clicking Moonblast to try and get rid of the special attack drop, which it did not happen. He Ice Beams, and at this point, Whimsicott doesn't do anything for me anymore because I don't want to switch or any items. I don't really need Tailwind because the fastest thing on his team would be Dragon Dance Tyranitar, but even then, I believe that at +1, Landorus would still outspeed. So I just went for another Moonblast, probably get a special attack drop, which I didn't. He kills Whimsicott. So I go into Zeraora, and I click Drain Punch for HP recovery, and he goes into Mega Tyranitar, which picks up the kill, which is really good for me because that's a lot more HP for me. So now he goes Togekiss. I went for the Drain Punch to see if it would kill. It did not. He went for Ancient Power, didn't get anything, but he died to Sand. And now I just keep clicking Drain Punch and hoping that I can get enough HP. I didn't get enough HP, but it put it really, really low, and now I just go Lycanroc and click Sucker Punch. And it failed the first turn because he went for Toxic. But I had no reason not to click it again. So that is the game. Zeraora picking up 4 kills this game. I believe that puts it in the number 2 spot of kill leaders in my division, which is really nice. Maractus did put in a good amount of work there, and I gotta say the MVP of this game was definitely Whimsicott, though. If it wasn't for Whimsicott, then Maractus wouldn't have gotten the Leech Seed off on the Tyranitar and force a switch. It wouldn't have gotten the Cotton Guard up, and I wouldn't have been able to wear down Swampert enough to kill it with the Drain Punch, Sucker Punch combo. So, if you enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe. I will be making more of these, and there will be 2 more videos this week, one for DLBA and one for IPA, and it will be week 2, and then after that, it'll be the normal schedule of 1 per week. So, if you enjoyed, please do like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. It shows me that you enjoy this content, and I'm really happy to see that you guys enjoy it. And I'm going to see you next time.